And we're back. Happy New Year, everyone. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from the Lakers Fast Break. It's some NBA observations. Want to go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and ring that notification bell. Make sure you go ahead as our New Year's resolution right here on the channel. We're looking to get to 10,000 subscribers now. We had that same actual resolution last year and the year before, but we're going to make it. We're going to make it. But who knows? Someday we might just pull it off, but you never know. But that's our resolution is 10,000 subscribers, and you can help make it happen by going ahead and subscribing today to the Lakers Fast Break, but also this channel as well, because he is the man behind this great channel, which covers all kinds of the sports scene, including, of course, college football, which he's looking at very closely. We're talking right now about the Oregon and Texas Tech game, which looks like it's all but over. Oregon pitching the shutout as we speak, but it is, of course, I'm talking about I Got Next Sports Media. And of course, the guy who runs it is a guy that we love here on this channel. It is, of course, Legend. Legend, happy and prosperous New Year, my friend.
Same to you, my friend. Same to you.
Absolutely. And I want to go ahead and just basic outline. I know that sometimes 2-3 things will get in as far as what we cover, whatnot, sometimes more on this show. But for today, it's going to be something very simple, very easy. So I just asked Legend, make some New Year's resolutions for some team in the NBA. Just whatever teams that you want. Doesn't matter. You just tell me which teams meet your fancy with some New Year's resolutions you think will help them or help the league out entirely, my friend. So where do you want to start with your New Year's resolutions for the NBA?
The first New Year resolution that I think I would like to see be made is the NBA finally fits All-Star Weekend. It hasn't been a joke the last several years, and it's probably gonna be a joke again this year. And that's part of one of the main biggest things on my list is I would love to see an improved NBA All-Star Weekend. Literally after they get through this dumpster fire that we're gonna see next month, sit down with the players and decide what can we do to get a good All-Star game back, because the 80s, the 90s, they didn't have none of these problems. Early 2000s didn't have none of these problems. 2010 and on is when it all started, and it's getting worse every year. And it's going to be a joke this year. When we look at I think the U.S. versus world, which is going to be a disaster because it's going to probably show us what the Olympics going to look like. So I want to see that improve.
I think it's just going to have to go back down to money. Why were the players playing so hard during the NBA Cup? Because of the money. And I think it's just going to come down to it. You flash the money and they'll try harder. And I think that's just ultimately what it's going to have to be. But this time you're going to have to sweeten the pot because it's the All-Stars. I think maybe $500,000. I think that might have to do it, or maybe a cool million. I'm sorry, it's going to eat into the overall All-Star weekend, but I think you can find a sponsor too to help cover the costs. And I think that's probably ultimately what you're going to have to do to find that competitive edge once again in the All-Star game. But that's because that's the only thing I've seen that will change the dynamic. I mean, you could cut their salaries back to what it was in the 80s and 90s, and then it may get more competitive. But again, when these guys are being paid 100, 200,
Right.
$50 million plus with these multi-year contracts, they don't want to risk it all in essentially an exhibition game. So I think, again, when you talk to these guys, probably what is it going to incentivize them was the same thing that incentivized a lot of these guys during the NBA Cup, and that's cold hard cash.
That just might be the only way to get them to play ball. Because kind of sad when I looked at the NBA Cup and I'm like, well, they're actually playing right here. They're playing defense. We ain't just jacking up 1,000 threes and doing free lane dunks. We actually playing defense. That's what I want to see in the All Star game. I miss watching the days of AI, Kobe, everyone playing defense, everyone actually competing. Now it's just, hey, you go, man, just gonna take you a three. Hey, go for it, man. We all gonna take threes today. You know what? Take you a 3-2, LeBron. We'll sit here and watch, man. Go for it, bro. We want real defense.
And where's your next stop on your list of NBA resolutions, my friend?
My next resolution, what I would like to see, I would like to see the Seattle Supersonics come back. I would like to see that come back. I think something I heard Joe mention a lot of times. I will think it's about time to let's go on and take New Orleans Pelicans out. They put them out their misery. I think it's that franchise has just been a disaster. Put Seattle back, and I think they deserve one back. They already got their arena sitting right there. It's already there. You just need a team. So I would love to see them bring that back just because of a lot of history. I guess that would kind of conflict with the OKC stuff since OKC did come from Seattle as well. So I guess that would conflict with some of their history. But I think it would be really good to bring a Seattle team back.
When you and I spoke earlier this week, it just hit me that we were supposed to talk about expansion, I believe, as well. So
That's
we can
right.
just lead into this with the fact that, okay, 2026 is supposed to be the year that Adam Silver will have something more definitive in the world of expansion, and with that, if he does think about it, two spots, the leading two contenders are Seattle and Las Vegas. Now, Joe has mentioned that because the dilution of talent, the best thing for the league would do to go and take it away from two existing locations that have a problem or issue drawing well. New Orleans would probably be number one. I think maybe Memphis has been mentioned. I was another, maybe another city, whatnot, and then move them into Seattle and Las Vegas, who have probably at this point the potential to go ahead and draw more of a fan base on that. I wouldn't be opposed to either, but I know that there's going to be good and bad if the league decides financially for them. If the league decides to go ahead and expand on it, on the league, and that is, yes, you do get a huge, massive upfront expansion fee. If Seattle, whoever it is, would be the Seattle team or the Las Vegas team, if they were to go ahead and be allowed and be granted expansion teams, they would be receiving, the league, they would be sending the league a paycheck probably in excess of $500 million just for the existence of
Mm.
a expansion team, which obviously up front would be great. But in turn, the revenue sharing would be lessened for all 30 other teams. So while the teams would get an upfront little tidy, thing as far as $500 million cut 30 ways, so they would get, 10, $15 million put in their pockets, which would be great. They would also have to consider what the other costs are long term before probably mulling it over to decide whether or not they want to do it. I'm either way. Whether they move teams that are not in great locations, that are supported not that well, or if they're brand new and fresh. I just know for Las Vegas, my recommendation would be getting it fresh, because we have a tendency to in Las Vegas to support teams that are homegrown a lot easier and a lot more. The Raiders, I think they've done okay here. They do have their fan base here, but it is not anywhere near what the Golden Knights are. The Golden Knights were embraced because not only, well, they weren't actually embraced initially, but once they started winning in that first year and going all the way to the Stanley Cup in their first year, not winning it, but going to the Stanley Cup Finals, they really embraced him as far as by the end of that season. So I will say that again, I probably the best thing for those cities would be to get two fresh, brand new franchises. But for the league is concerned, dilution of talent, et
Yeah.
cetera, probably better to go ahead and have them move, even though again, a lot of people would in both those cities would probably be opposed to that. I mean, we're seeing it now with the Athletics moving here to Las Vegas. No one cares. Absolutely no one cares. No one cares here in the city. I don't see any. I mean, I see athletic shirts go on clearance for $5 and nobody wants them. So,
Mm.
it really is uh, concerning to see if somebody would say, let's move the Charlotte Hornets over to Las Vegas and call them the Las Vegas Hornets or whatever, rename them whatever, and yeah, to see if they're going to get that kind of support there. Again, and doing it from scratch is more appealing for a franchise than probably moving a dead, unpopular team over to their city. But again, I could see the logistics and the costs of both.
I can see that as well. And I was thinking, I know Las Vegas would be really good. I know Las Vegas is probably still booming with the Aces winning their WNBA title last year.
Mhm. And that's a homegrown team. That
Yep.
is. And even though the tourism industry is down 8 to 10% year over year, depending on which reports you see, as far as 25 to 24, it is still, I don't want to, it's not thriving by any, but it's not a ghost town by any stretch of the imagination. It's still a place where it is easily, the ability to fly in and out easily for teams, the ability for fans to fly in and out for teams. And I'm assuming if there is a confirmed Las Vegas team that does come here, the rumors have it that there is going to be a second arena built. We don't need one. We have the T-Mobile that sits there. It's a fairly new arena, but any organization that gets built or comes here is probably going to want their own thing. Like the A's got their own a stadium built on the strip, or and of course the stadium that was built for the Raiders. Yeah, I'm assuming they're gonna go ahead and somewhere on the strip put a second arena, which would be crazy. We got like 14 arenas here, seemingly. I'm just kidding when I say that, but MGM Grand Garden Arena, there's a arena in the Mandalay Bay. There's the T-Mobile Arena. There's the Thomas and Mack Arena.
Mm.
Yeah, there's several arenas that can hold 10,000 plus individuals here within a square 2 miles of each other at best. No, actually, even a square mile, you could say, a little over a mile. So yeah, it's crazy. But Seattle, which I visited in both 23 and 24 and 25, really great city. Has a lot of traffic and logistical issues though. Cost of living there is a little higher than a lot of areas of the country, but they do support a lot of good things there. The people are really nice down there. Again, there's a downtown area where they can feed everything into if they build a new arena or if they have an arena that they'd like to go ahead and shuttle it into. And I'll just say that I think that there's a clamoring there, like you said, Legend. Probably of any place that has wanted an NBA team most after what happened with the Sonics moving to Oklahoma City and becoming Thunder, it would probably be in Seattle. So
Mhm.
Seattle would be the leading contender, and then you put Las Vegas right after it. That's those for years have been the heavily rumored expansion slash existing team move over there to those cities.
I kind of figured it's probably the year they announced it because I know the WNBA is doing their expansion this year too with the Portland Fire and they got another team coming too. And I forgot. I can't remember what the other team was, but I know they
I'll
had like
check
two
for you.
teams coming.
Well, that's just provided they go back to work because right now there's even been talk about the league folding because of the difference in between the management group of the WNBA and the players union. So we'll
I
see if
figured the lockout coming.
yeah, so we'll see which teams are going to be able to go ahead and expand on that. But I will still trying to find out which teams.
I don't know.
Uh,
Is it Cleveland that's coming this year, or was it Detroit?
yes, Toronto, Portland, Cleveland,
Okay,
Detroit,
Toronto.
and Philadelphia. Those are the teams that are moving by 2030 into the
Mm.
WNBA that are expanding it to. So, yeah, just some interesting things right there. But yeah, good start, my friend. Where do you head next to on your list of NBA proclamations and upcoming thoughts for the new year?
Um, Another New Year resolution I would like to see is I gotta call out my Atlanta Hawks. It's time to make some changes. I'm tired of watching no defense being played, and I think I saw enough to say it's time to move Trey on. I want to go and see the Hawks gonna make that happen.
Okay. All right. So where do you think he should go? That's the problem. I had a discussion with this with Caleb Ponce. I've had discussions on this on the air. The Lakers fast break. Where do you think he goes? That is the question.
That's the hardest part,
Who?
right there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, whether he's traded or he walks in free agency and goes somewhere else, who wants to pay him for the future?
That's hard because it's the height part and the fact that he just doesn't play defense, which is why I was trying to explain to got the other guy name was on the show the other night saying trade for Austin. I'm like, no, man, it's the same thing. You're getting the exact same thing. Might be a little worse because he's a little bit shorter, but I'm like, no, that's not what you want. So I'm thinking, I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I have heard this a little bit. Some people mentioned about, well, give the Hawks Anthony Davis and you give them Trey Young. I'm like, they get a point guard. They do need a point guard, but you got Kyrie Irving coming back, so that wouldn't make sense completely.
Unless you're thinking about trading, as far as trading Kyrie Irving. So that's the one thing I would say might be in consideration, because if Kyrie Irving doesn't want to play on a team with such a bad record closer to the end of his career, because he's not a spring,
Yeah, he's not
he's not
springing. Well, he's
no,
up in age.
he's not a guy anymore. He's 34, 35. So yeah, he's not that young anymore. So Kyrie, even though he signed the extension, has to think about, maybe what is best in his best interest. So we could see movement from there. And of course, Anthony Davis trade rumors have been very present as well. What's up on your next of 2026 NBA New Year's resolution, my friend?
Another one is got the mother team in there. Move Kaminga. I want to see that finally happen. I think it's time to get off the Kaminga era. Just like I know a lot of Laker fans ready to move off of LeBron. That's how I feel about Kaminga. Time to go in. Let's go in and move him, make some moves, and start wasting Steph Curry's what he got left. But he's just wasting his man time at this point.
Let me ask you a question, because I want to do this from someone who has looked a little bit closer to the Golden State Warriors situation than maybe some of us general NBA fans or prognosticators or reporters or just NBA aficionados like us, or like me per se, in this case. And that is, when you look at Jonathan Kuminga, and he is going to be moved. I'm pretty sure that that resolution will pay itself off, and he will be moved at some point. I do know he signed the contract, that the limited contract that he did. It's not exactly what he was wanted, not exactly what he was looking for, but he did commit to it, so he could stay. But that situation has just not made itself any clearer than it has been over the course of his entire career. If and when he moves, are you going to look back and say to yourself, did he actually get a fair shake when he was in Golden State?
I would say no. I actually feel like there's been a lot of times where, and that is me just watching the games too. I feel like there's times Steve Kerr kind of did him dirty. There have been times where I feel like he wasn't really given the fair shake. And yeah, there was a lot of moments where he didn't perform well, but there's been a lot of moments too that he did pretty well. I think the last playoff run, I think Kaminga did okay, especially when Steph went out. He gave you some pretty good numbers. I think it has come down to Steve Kerr just don't want to play younger players, and I think it's a lot of that is involved. So I do think some of Kaminga issue did come from Steve Kerr coaching style, which could be maybe the reason why he don't have a contract right now. Hard to say, but I do think it's been a lot of times where it haven't been completely fair to him.
Well, I agree with you on that because it just seems like once he got any kind of momentum, if he'd had a bad game or two, he's right back to the bench. Sometimes he wouldn't even play at all. Again, Steve Kerr, for better for worse, as far as the way he handles his rotations, one of those by feel guys. And then sometimes there are coaches that are strict rotations, and they have guys that maybe are in the rotation that are not should not be there, but they're unwilling to move other guys to the lineup. And then there's Steve Kerr, which is the exact opposite. He'll play anyone on that 13, 14 man roster, or 15 man in some cases, but 14-man roster that he'll play anybody. He'll give anyone a try. Pat Spencer, who was the toast of the town coming into December and early December with some games, moved into the starting lineup after some good games as a reserve. And then late by the end of the month, you're coaching DNP. And it's just, again, it's all over the place. So these guys in the rotation, Podziemski, starter, reserve, and Moody, reserve, starter, reserve. Yeah. You don't know from one game to the next exactly where you're going to play and how long you're going to play sometimes. I'm sure some guys are notified as far as what their minute structure will be like for that game, but then again, you see it. You see it in the box scores. You see it on when you watch their games. He is a very by the field guy. Steve
Mm-hmm.
Kerr is, and sometimes that feel rubs those players a long way. And I'm just going to say, Jonathan Kuminga sees himself as a certain status. He sees, and a lot of other people do. They see the ability. They see the certain things that he brings to the table athletically, and say to themselves, that kid, I think, if given the proper chance at 30 minutes a game over an 82 game season, could really do some things. And then there are others that say he's as inconsistent as his play would tell you that it is. So I think he has to find out the real book on Jonathan Kaminga. He probably has to get a change of scenery. I mean, we talk about it with Dalton Connect here as well. I mean, this kid all over the place with playing time. Some of it is deserved, some of it's not. But I really think you're not going to get a bead on either of those players until they move on to different locations.
I feel the same way. I think they're going to do a lot better once they get free of the Steve Kerr shackles. And I've been thought for a while now. I wouldn't be surprised if Kuminga will just shine with wherever he goes to next, just because of you don't have nobody holding him back from maybe a bad shooting game and go back to being DMPs and anything. It'll be free to just go play ball, which is what I thought Sacramento situation would be perfect. There's no pressure, ain't nobody gonna pull you. Just play ball, man. Just play.
It's funny. In recent days, I've heard Trey Young going to Sacramento. Now you're talking about Jonathan Kaminga. He's been rumored forever going to Sacramento. Just send everybody to Sacramento. Just send them all to Sacramento.
Yeah,
Just
they got nothing
every
going on over there.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not lighting any beams anytime soon. So just send over every problem situation over to Sacramento. That works, man. That works. So what's up next, my friend, for your NBA predictions for 2026?
My prediction. I think the New York Knicks will finally get to the NBA Finals this year. That's gonna probably be my biggest one. I think it's gonna be the Knicks here to get to the finals, and I think the West. I felt the Rockets. Now I'm kind of like I don't even know anymore. It's so up and down with everybody. I don't even know anymore. But I'm gonna say the West is gonna come down to 1 through 4. I think we're gonna come down to who come out the West. And then I'm gonna make my very last prediction. It's gonna probably be a shocker. I think the Clippers gonna get themselves in the play-in. They're gonna get themselves out of that situation at least to a play-in spot.
Well, they've won 5 in a row as of this recording, and are back in the thick of it. And they're amazingly enough, after the start they had, there are only 2 games out of a play-in spot in the Western Conference. So I very much agree with you. By this time next month, they could be firmly entrenched into 10th or ninth place in the Western Conference. And if Phoenix or Golden State go on any kind of losing streak, then it could be problematic for them. Because they could have the Clippers breathing down their necks at some point in time soon. So the Clippers, despite the injury to Ivica Zubac, has played a lot better in recent games. They've been dominant in their wins, and they are now playing at a level that I thought when I started the season predictions for us. I had the Clippers, I think fourth, I think in the Western Conference because I thought a lot of those names still had some juice left in the tank. And this time last month, they didn't look like they had anything left in the tank. But Brook Lopez has come in and provided solid play for them after being in the doghouse, but he's taken the starting role over since Ivica Zubac has gotten injured. But Kawhi Leonard being healthy-ish,
Healthy. Yep.
yeah. So, and he's looked pretty much. I don't want to say the full Kawhi Leonard experience, but he definitely on the offensive end has looked a lot better of note. And the fact that he is out there has really expedited things. It seems like James Harden was that band-aid or try to put the band-aid on the entire organization and put the whole team on his back for quite a stretch. I mean, this dates back to last season and whatnot, and he's tried to do that continuously. And it just looks like this year it wasn't going to be the case, no matter how well he played. And it just seems like now, although with him now, it's just like up for him a breath of fresh air because he doesn't have to do everything now like he did in the past, or not everything per se, but do so much of the work because with Kawhi taking up a lot of the scoring load, it frees him up to be more of a playmaker and allows his team to go ahead and do a lot more dynamic things. They looked old, they look slow and unathletic for much of the season, but they've gotten back Derek Jones Jr., who provides a little bit of that. And I think that they are a team that, again, on the rise. We'll see if that sustains itself and continues. But as of now, that is not out of the realm of possibility. And like I said, they're only 2 games out of the play-in as of now.
And they're definitely starting to pick it up, and it's starting to look like kind of what I thought about them as well, being that little sleeper team that can surprise a lot of people. But by the time next month, it could be in that eighth, ninth, to 10th spot.
We'll find out, my friend. Anything more? Because I like these NBA predictions that you have so far, man. You're doing really good on it. Once again, it is Legend. I got Next Sports Media. It's me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening to our NBA observations. But my friend, what else do you have on the list for your NBA 2026 predictions?
My very last prediction that I have will be, I'm going to say for the very last one, LaMelo Ball will probably be moved. Either this trade deadline or the summer. I think LaMelo will be somewhere else.
Uh, where do you think he's heading to?
I'm thinking if the Hawks move Trey, it's not a bad idea to add a younger person coming in. It's not a bad idea, but I know defense still is kind of skeptical.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting thing. I mean, I think they have relatively around the same value of contracts. So theoretically you could do that. A Trey Young for Ball type deal for LaMelo Ball, but again, what's in it for Charlotte? And the fact is that how much would Atlanta put in as far as a kicker is concerned if they wanted to just move on from Trey? Because the thing is, Trey becomes a free agent. So if you want to move on from Trey, you could just wait. You could just
That
wait.
is true.
You could just wait until the end of the season. Just like Austin. If you really want to move on from Austin, if you're Lakers, just wait. Just wait. But again, I do think LaMelo Ball will go somewhere, and I agree with you that I'm not sure if it's Atlanta 100%. I would say probably say there are other destinations that might need him. Minnesota would probably come to mind, or Dallas. I could see him in Dallas as well, like you were talking about with Trey, because those are point areas of need for point guards. Sacramento, it also needs a point guard as well.
I say Houston need a
Uh,
point guard.
yeah, absolutely. Houston needs a point guard. Absolutely. Those four teams probably are in dire need the most of point guard play. Whether or not he stays on the floor, we'll have to wait and see because injuries have been an issue with him. But I think with Charlotte, they see a future because Com Knipple is not the rookie of the year, but he is close behind Cooper Flag. He has played extremely well. People have not noticed he's gone under the radar because he's well playing in Charlotte. It's funny because I talked so bad about the Clippers orange uniform, but I like the Charlotte orange uniform. Maybe because it's a blend. It's more like a blend. It's a soft color here. It gets into a harder orange, and then it goes on. Yeah, it's just it did just such a better job with it than the Clippers, who just like
Yeah.
and there you go. Put a like shoe logo, athletic logo on there as far as the LA, and then there you go. But I will say this: that I think Lamelo Ball probably will be moved. I think that Charlotte has grown very weary, and with Brandon Miller and Com Knipple around as far as their future is concerned, I'd probably say that that's a good shot about LaMelo Ball leaving. But you mentioned earlier New York Knicks to the finals, and I know that excites New York Knicks fans. I know they're in New York; they're really excited about what could possibly happen. When I had my interview with Chris LeBron, as far as our previewing the New York Knicks, you could just sense the excitement in with Knicks fans that this is a good case, and they are just behind the Detroit Pistons on the Eastern Conference standings, and by the end of this month, they could be flip flopped, and New York Knicks could be at the top. And with that, again, it looks like you could be very right. And with the Eastern Conference, the way it's structured right now, with a lot of teams that are, eh,
Yeah, especially when seeing Cleveland where they at
yeah,
right now.
yeah, Cleveland's been struggling. They have won a couple games as of late on the road in impressive fashion, so they may be rebounding a little bit here. But with other teams out there, kind of not having a great season, but again, you don't have to have a great season in order to go ahead and be in the playoff running right now in the Eastern Conference. But Boston still is waiting for Tatum. Orlando has not looked great like we thought they were going to be doing. Atlanta has speaks for itself. What's going on there? New York could have an easier run through the playoffs than any team in the West, whether it be OKC or anyone else.
You are right, and that's one of the big reasons why I get the Knicks probably the best shot to get to the finals versus anyone in the West, just because of it's not as difficult and not much of a gauntlet like it is in that West. The Western Conference, I can see about several potential 7 game series, while in the East, I don't see that many. I may see maybe 6, maybe 5, but I don't see a lot of 7 game series like I do in the West. The West, I think, will be a real gauntlet going through the Spurs, Oklahoma, Houston, Denver when they get healthy. Throw the Lakers in there, and then so on and so forth. It's just more of a gauntlet to get out that West, but the East, it's not that much to really get through. It's Detroit, Boston's been surging, and then that's almost about it. Everyone else is kind of yeah.
Well, I have one NBA prediction. I said this the other day on the Lakers Fast Break, and that is if this team finishes where it finishes now in fifth place in the Western Conference or thereabout, which is right where I predicted them to be, and they leave early in a first round exit. I do see wholesale changes in the front office as Joe would love to see. I think Joe would do backflips if that was the case. And if that's the case, I think that it would probably lead to maybe a period of adjustment, but with a full, I guess, salary cap sheet almost with $100 million thereabouts that could come off the books potentially this summer, and the fact that they gain two more draft picks with the or actually I'm sorry, they do they will have three draft picks on draft day of next year or this year, excuse me. It could be an interesting time for the Los Angeles Lakers, but again, I'm predicting that this team is going to do about where it's going to do, barring any major trades, and that they are going to go ahead and make some wholesale changes, which I think is probably the best thing for the organization indeed at this point in time. So that I think would please a lot of fans out there. Those fans that are trying to send every trade in they can to try and make the Lakers better now, incrementally better now. They probably don't want to hear that, but I think that again, the best thing for the Lakers at this point, I
That's what I
think, is
said
just
too.
yeah, just reset for the future,
Yep.
and build around Luca some really solid two-way players that can actually really make a difference in this league. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But Legend, my friend, it's been great to have you on. I know that you're part of course, our Lakers Fast Break post games whenever you can stop on by, and also NBA observations. But before we head it out, my friend, you've got a great channel I've appeared on, and that's I Got Next Sports Media. So hit everyone up on exactly what you are doing there at that great channel known as I Got Next Sports Media.
Well, I definitely plan to probably tomorrow probably do a podcast discussing the second round of the college football playoffs, and then I will discuss a little bit on the NBA as well this upcoming weekend or Monday wise. But I know tomorrow I'm going to definitely talk about the playoffs, talk about how Ohio pretty much wet the bed and just fell apart against Miami, and then Texas Tech pretty much just got shut out by Oregon. It's like James Madison did better than me than they did, but hey.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll see how it is right now in the college football playoff. And when the dust settles, what goes ahead and what comes ahead after that. Right now, for us, Miami and Oregon, we're looking at seeing what Alabama and Indiana and Ole Miss, Georgia do. But by the time you watch this, you'll already know that answer. But I am so grateful for the time that you have given me over the course of this past year and a previous time as well. And look forward to. I've got one last prediction. I've got one last prediction, and that is that Legend will be able to spend many a great time with us, and also see great success from his channel. I Got Next Sports Media. That's what I am predicting as well.
I appreciate that, Gerald. I predict you guys gonna get that 10,000. It's coming.
It's coming, absolutely, and I swear I won't have to pay someone overseas to do it. Although I do get those offers every day. Hey, you can get thousands of subscribers. Just come our way. Come away. No, I mean, no. I'm good. I'm good. I want to do it the real way. We'll go from there. But I'm very thankful for the base of followers that we do have. Very thankful for the people that to take time to watch this show, and also our Lakers Fast Break post game shows. But Legend, I cannot thank you enough the most for being the guy that comes here when we need it the most. So for all the things that you do, truly appreciate it. And as always, you are welcome back anytime to provide yours. And also when I'll stop by to do my NBA observations right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast.